with the addition of Echo Fighters as a more major aspect of Smash Bros. It makes for an easy way to raise the roster without creating that much additional work. While I think it is possible and likely not every character will get an Echo Fighter, I think it would be fun to come up with an Echo Fighter for every character in the base game. I'll also be giving you a crazy suggestion for the fun of it. I'm grouping Mario and Dr. Mario, not because they are similar, because they are extremely different, and it is easy to identify someone who doesn't play much if they imply the two Marios play similarly, or that if you are good with one, you can be good with the other. That's not the case. Thanks to having FLUDD, Mario has an oddly technical aspect to his playstyle, whereas Dr. Mario has the more straightforward playstyle. They are grouped because they share the same pool of possible echoes, and FLUDD is going to be what divides this pool. The realistic characters I see in this pool are Fire Mario, Tanuki Mario, Frog Suit Mario, Arts and Sciences Mario, and Paper Mario. And I can pretty much guarantee these won't be for the Marios you think. Arts and Sciences Mario, for example, could be a character using Science Mario as the default, and could be Mario's Echo Fighter, and use a contraption to shoot a glowing solution instead of water. Maybe to also throw out vials instead of fireballs. Alternate costumes would include Mexican Mario shooting super spicy salsa, Chef Mario shooting cookie dough and throwing cookies, Paint Mario shooting paint, and Mechanic and Racing Mario shooting grease. Clown Mario and Astronaut Mario would round out shooting confetti and plasma. This is the least likely echo due to the amount of reskinning necessary, but you know you want to throw cookies at your enemies in Smash Bros. The main difference this echo would have would be that FLUDD deals damage, fireballs bounce only once, and the cape equivalent is smaller. A more likely but unpopular Mario echo would be Paper Mario. Let me say, I don't want this either, but I see it as possible, especially looking at the more recent Paper Mario games. Paper Mario is now known for jumping, throwing fireballs, and reflecting projectiles with a raccoon tail. Only FLUDD would not reflect his three most recent games. Being light as paper, who's to say he couldn't borrow Dr. Mario or Luigi's Tornado though? And that would be his main difference. His tail would have less wind-up and cooldown, but only reflect lower and mid projectiles, and he would be very light, but also have the most invulnerability frames in his dodges. Frog Mario could be another Mario echo, and his differences would be he spits water and doesn't need to charge the move. Also, his jump attack would go higher, but he'd be slightly slower and less responsive. Fire Mario could work for either. He could give Mario a fiery version of FLUDD, or take the classic Mario moveset from Dr. Mario. The one I most see is Tanuki Mario, as a Dr. Mario echo, using his tail to reflect in a way that can smoothly transition into combos. In general, he'd be the Mario with the best aerial game with lots of combo potential. I have two crazy picks though. I want Piantissimo as a Dr. Mario echo. In Mario Sunshine, I won Piantissimo could do anything Mario could, and even used identical animations to Mario, so there's precedent. And Mad Scienstein as a Mario echo, who throws flasks and uses a crazy contraption to shoot water or wind gusts. Donkey Kong could have Funky steal his thunder again. That'd work, but so could Kiddy Kong or Donkey Kong Jr. Kiddy Kong was basically a Donkey Kong clone anyway, and was one of the core 4 heroes in the Donkey Kong series, so he'd be welcome. And Donkey Kong Jr. is a smaller Donkey Kong, so the moves would translate perfectly, though personally, I'd rather him get a more original moveset. It's crazy, but what I most want are the Donkey Kong prototypes from Sky Skipper. They are basically just Donkey Kong wearing shoes and listening to music. Link would most likely have Linkle as an Echo Fighter. They could even give her the classic bombs. Of course, you have Mimi choices like Alfonso, who could be slightly slower and a stronger Echo Fighter. But let's go crazier. We could have the hero's shade. You miss Ocarina of Time, Link. You want the look of Twilight Princess back. He will satisfy all of your desires. If Samus somehow got a second Echo, the two most likely would be non-Varia Suit Samus, or Fusion Suit Samus, and the craziest would be SAX. Birdo is popularly suggested as a Yoshi Echo. It could work apart from Yoshi's standard special, If you change it to a suction move though, it'd work. Yarn Yoshi was also deconfirmed as an alt, so here we are at my crazy pick. Baby Paper Yoshi. No, this is nothing like Pink Gold Peach. The sharper Mario fans already know I was talking about the Yoshi partner from Paper Mario. He could be a smaller, lighter character with great fluttering ability, but have a little more lag after some attacks. When it comes to Kirby, Shadow Kirby is an obvious but underwhelming choice. I'm not sure which is crazier, but two other options come to mind. 8-bit Kirby, who is a flat sprite, and Gooey, the best choice. Gooey is the best choice due to the fact he can copy enemies just like Kirby. The big difference would be that instead of inhaling, he thrusts his tongue out in a flash and swallows anybody hit. He likely would also be unable to hold items and copy at the same time. For Fox, there are only two likely choices, James and Marcus, his father and son respectively. For the crazy choice, Bill would work and bring a more unique look with him. Pikachu often has Detective Pikachu suggested or cosplay Pikachu, but a crazier and better choice is Pachirisu. They have almost the same proportions. Pachirisu would just have better range and coverage on its tail attacks. Luigi fans tend to suggest Mr. L, but I think that would make for a better alternate, specifically for a possible Echo, Paper Luigi. However, unless Paper Mario is already included, I don't think Paper Luigi will join. Dr. Luigi is also often suggested, and similar to Mario, Luigi has worn plenty of outfits that could be Echoes. But my crazy suggestion is Penguin Luigi, who would have ice balls instead of fireballs, and lunge forward able to slide for miles upon landing, or ricocheting off of walls instead of impacting in them. He'd also be even slippier than Luigi when walking and running. Ness often is said to be a great prototype for Ninten, the original protagonist. But given Ninten's abilities, I disagree. Pooh and Paula are probably out. Anna is not. But Anna would be a strange choice without Ninten. Not many other characters can echo mother characters. However, I think, and this is crazy, the 7 Magypsies and Kumatora could make a perfect echo, or just Kumatora. They would all be slightly larger and heavier versions of Ness, with slightly more power. Why would I have them be echoes of Ness, you might ask? Yo-yos are a large part of Ness's Smash moveset, but do not exist in Lucas's, and yo-yos canonically only exist in Earthbound and Mother 3, in which they can be equipped by anyone except for dogs. In fact, there is even a spiky yo-yo in Mother 3 that would be perfect to give the Magypsies or Kumatora a fresh aesthetic. The only stretching of canon necessary would be Ness's bat, as Kumatora does not use sticks. However, there is one stick that is actually a rolled up flyer, and I would support reskinning the bat as that, and reducing its knockback. I bet no one expected me to have so much to say about Ness. Captain Falcon probably cannot have Blood Falcon, since that alt returned, but most other racers are fair game. Black Shadow is the favorite. Other possibilities include Beastman, Baba, and Phoenix. And really, only a few drivers are excluded. There is one other character nobody is suggesting though. Rick Wheeler from the series reboot that the anime is based on, who became the next Captain Falcon after the real Captain Falcon died killing Black Shadow. There's probably a good reason nobody talks about him, so Black Shadow it is. Jigglypuff often has Igglybuff or Wigglytuff suggested, and those would work. But my crazy pick is Clefairy, and it's honestly not that crazy. Clefairy was originally intended to be the Pokemon mascot instead of Pikachu, and still is a notable Pokemon. So it makes sense to include and could be a bulkier Jigglypuff with a weaker air and combo game, but hits more like a tank. If he wasn't already deconfirmed, being a Pokeball, Snorlax could have been the extreme of this. Imagine his rest just being him slowly falling over or belly flopping if airborne, for an almost guaranteed KO if you let him fall on you. Now if Peach could have a second Echo, popular choices would be Shadow Queen or Pink Gold Peach, and Shrew Princess. Paper Peach could also work, however, but my crazy pick is Peachette or Bowsette to be topical. Bowser has many possibilities. Paper Bowser could work with his fire being a constant length, but only hitting low. You also have options such as Dry Bowser and Dark Bowser, as well as more unusual picks like Rookie and Boletta. Ice Climbers hail from a small, retro franchise with very few characters, and while most echoes will probably be from the series of the original character, single series reps from games with few characters could be the exception. So I present to you Cat and Anna. Instead of hammering ice, they would release a slash along the ground. And instead of breathing cold air, they would breathe fire or release wind. Sheik often has young Impa suggested, and that could work. A Giga Clansman could also work. And it's crazy and not what people want, but a puppet could totally copy a ninja with more clumsy movements. And Skull Kid is a puppet, scarecrow thing. He could throw straw needles, lash out with tentacles for Majora, and disappear with his dark magic, and seemingly get pulled around for his standard attacks. For Zelda, everybody suggests Hilda, and sometimes Toon Zelda. I've also heard one person suggest Skull Kid for her because she has magical special moves, but I don't think the rest would fit him at all. My crazy picks are Marin and the Oracles, and those would be the best options. I mean, they are the oracles based on and named after the goddesses. That is some major representation. Pichu stumps most people, but not me. I've heard Meryl suggested often, and it could work, but I'd pick Plusle and Minun. Or for a looser echo, Emolga with additional jumps and a strong air game. Falco could pretty easily be the gateway for getting Slippy or maybe Peppy. Possibly even Leon. Not crazy enough, we need Revali. Instead of shooting off in a blast of flames, he zips around the stage for 5 seconds using Revali's Gale, reflects projectiles with a blast of wind, rapid fires arrows, and creates a tailwind to body slam. You want this now, right? Too bad, no way it is happening without being a mod. Marth already has Lucina and Roy has Chrom, but if they got somebody else, we'd be talking the briefly considered Leaf. Possibly Seleth, maybe Eliwood, Roy's father, or even my lord and missing waifu, Irika. Young Link also gives a lot of people trouble, with young Dark Link being suggested a troubling number of times. No. The good choices are Ralph and Prince Richard. I mean, look at Ralph. You want to play as this guy, he looks so unique. Prince Richard would kind of be a new series rep, although he's technically also a Zelda character. Ganondorf could have Phantom Ganon, and that's probably as crazy as you can get unless you want to suggest putting his moveset on Pig Ganon and watering down both forms of Ganon. I gotta go with the popular choice of Demise. I mean, the moveset kind of actually fits Demise. Mewtwo could get Shadow Mewtwo if you want to be that guy. Or he could get Alakazam or Kadabra as an Echo. Even Gardevoir could be squeezed into working if he wasn't a Pokeball. Or my crazy choice that I actually really want, Deoxys. Wait, what? He's a Pokeball? Damn it, Sakurai! Mr. Game & Watch is a tough one, but it could just be another look for Game & Watch. Maybe the Wolf, maybe the Flagman Pirate Guy, or Game & Watch Mario or Link. Meta Knight could have Dark Meta Knight or Galacta Knight, or Bandana Waddle Dee almost. If B Waddles didn't throw spears, he would be 100% plausible. But otherwise it's possible with that tweak. Not that I prefer that, just a lot of animation could be recycled. I actually expect Bandana Waddle Dee to be a semi-clone. There are enough different things you could do, but still build on Meta Knight. Pit has Dark Pit, but if we want to go crazy, here's the Centurion, the most likely other Echo Fighter. For Zero Suit Samus, I don't know how it would be different mechanically or animation-wise, but we could have Unitard or Swimsuit Samus as an Echo. Maybe non-charge rapid bullets? A crazy option would be Jodie Summer. Wario could be echoed by Dr. Krygor. He's even got digestive issues too. Or maybe 9-Volt, only with a skateboard instead of a motorcycle. Or it's really crazy, but old Impa would fit really well. Instead of the chopper, she rides on the master cycle, and old ladies are known to fart and occasionally bite too. Snake having Big Boss is a no-brainer, but Raiden would also work perfectly. Ike and the Black Knight are also obvious choices as sibling students. Grail, Ike's father, and Sigurd could also work, and Magnus from Kid Icarus would be perfect. Pokemon Trainer is one of the hardest. You could just swap the evolutions a bit, a weaker but super nimble Charmander, a slightly heavier and stronger Wartortle, and Venusaur with titanic power, but low maneuverability and virtually no jumping ability. You could even squeeze Kalava, Totodile, and Bayleaf with a little bit more work. Given the changes Echoes can have, using Diddy for Dixie could work. With some stretching, even Ukiki or Billy could work. Now Lucas could also have the Magypsies and Kumatora as Echoes, or popularly have Klaus, his brother, as an Echo. Basically a simple flip across the vertical axis. He could, however, do Nintendo more justice than Ness. Not only does he not use a yo-yo, he also uses Rope Snake, and Mother just so happens to have a rope item that gets stand in perfectly. Sonic could technically have almost any of his friends as an Echo on paper. The most popular picks, however, are Classic Sonic, Metal Sonic, Silver, and the shoe-in Shadow. While not the most popular character, Shadow is still quite popular. As far as crazy picks, I'm gonna pass this time. I could say Lilac, Jazz Jackrabbit, or any Sonic derivative or random OCs. But, actually Dylan almost would work. There's the crazy pick. King DDD is in a strange boat. Shadow DDD or Masked DDD are commonly suggested. You might also say Bonkers, but DDD can inhale people. Bonkers, I don't want to think about eating people. I guess we could take a page from the Gooey idea and have him reach out and grab enemies, and then have him bear hug them before kicking them like a football. He's been hanging around with the turtle boss. Seriously, in Rainbow Resort, you fight the turtle immediately after Bonkers. Also, somebody make and send fan art of Bonkers and the turtle bear hugging people, please. Here's my Twitter. Olimar doesn't have any crazy picks, just other protagonists like Brittany, and villains like the President and Louie. So next, Lucario could fooled you! Colin from Advance Wars! And instead of plucking Pikmin, he creates soldiers, tanks, planes, and boats based on the map sprites that look like tactical strategy models, and then he throws them, and they come back and they can be destroyed just like Olimar's Pikmin. Don't take me for granted, everybody has crazy picks. Lucario has plenty. Zoroark was an old pick many had, for some reason, because it doesn't do that Pokemon justice. Medicham could work, and Zeraora is a newer and better pick with many equivalent moves. And my crazy pick is Riley the trainer who introduced Lucario. Dresses like one, and has the abilities of one. Nobody would see that one coming. Not even me, because I don't think it's happening. R.O.B could most realistically have Jameson from Custom Robo, Mike, or the Labo Robot as an Echo. And I mean the actual Labo, not the robot character. With the visor sitting on top and the hand pieces, it could almost look like R.O.B. For a crazy pick, E.T. from the Atari game E.T. Okay, never actually seriously suggest E.T. Toon Link could have Shadow Link. Or for a crazy never gonna happen, but would be awesome, Nico, who actually was a Toon Link costume in Hyrule Warriors. So maybe he's not that crazy. Wolf would most likely have Panther, claws and everything. Leon from F-Zero would also work and is out there. The Villager's a hard one, because any character would work. Obvious choices being Tom Nook, Rossetti, KK Slider, Copper, Crazy Red, and Rover. My craziest pick being Tortimer, because he's an old turtle and is he even in the games anymore? I liked Tortimer. Mega Man for a long time had Bass and Proto Man, with some memesters suggesting Beck, who I don't want. Keep Mighty Number 9 out of my Smash Brothers. But I think in all the universes that exist, several got Beck as an Echo Fighter. It sounds crazy initially, but I think Mega Man's twin Roll actually makes more sense. She's incredibly popular in Japan, and in Marvel vs. Capcom, even dabbled in having her own robot master form. And by robot master form, I mean like a super robot form, not a boss form. Wii Fit Trainer. Shoot, that's it, guys. There's not a single. 5V from WarioWare. She is an exercise nut. Heck, you could almost go with Young Cricket, or maybe even Jimmy T. Put Ring Fit in here too. Gameplay-wise, it doesn't exactly represent it, but Ring Fit person could totally get Ganondorf treatment. I kind of want this for the crazy memes. But hear me out. Waluigi. Rosalina and Luma could, well, if she wasn't an assist trophy, Ashley could have used red similarly, and used magic to deflect objects and stuff. A summoner from Fire Emblem could also work. Heck, even Lion, who is basically a beefed up summoner and major character, would work. As could Wanda from Mario and Wario, only using a character with a bucket on their head. I vote Stanley or Waluigi, even though they never had a bucket on their head. Little Mac could have most boxers, but I want to highlight Super Punch-Out Boxer, Vodka Drunkinski, Glass Joe, Mr. Sandman, Bald Bull, or Waluigi because Waluigi boxed in Game & Watch Gallery. Greninja could, according to one person I saw, have Decidueye as an Echo, with leaves instead of water shuriken. I could see this working a bit better with Shiftry, Sceptile, or best with Blaziken, with the main difference being the side special is Dig, essentially reducing vulnerability while using the move with only attacks that hit the floor connecting. However, Dig would also have the slightest visual cue in making it harder to aim and predict. These characters would then reskin the shuriken and swords into something appropriate. Also, you substitute and use Razor Leaf or Flamethrower downward to propel themselves through the air. The Miis, as custom characters, cannot have echoes. Do I really have to?
Yes, shut up and give us your damn Echo Fighter picks!
Fine, Xbox avatars or My Sims. Are you happy?
No, you dumbass! What kind of a suggestion is that?
Palutena would most likely have Medusa, some suggest Viridi, but her size and proportions are not even similar. And very evil people suggest Pseudo Palutena. I suppose even Hades could work, but it wouldn't be any group's first pick. Pac-Man would obviously have Miss Pac-Man, unless they went obscure with Pac-Man Jr., Professor Pac, or the Ghosts. Robins would most likely have Morgan, but the most ideal match would be Celica, who is another sword mage hybrid. It could simply have the twist of stronger magic and no durability system in exchange for all magic except the down special dealing small amounts of damage. For my crazy pick, Terra from Final Fantasy. Shulk has Rex suggested exclusively by people who say they have played the games, but haven't even watched gameplay of the games. Similarly, Malos is suggested by people who have only played Xenoblade 2. Shulk has two likely choices. Dunban because he once wielded the Bionis Minato, or Zanza Klaus, who is the original version of Shulk and true wielder of the Bionis Minato. A crazier choice would be Alvis, the creator of the Minatos, and the Minatos themselves, meaning he would be wielding himself in a sense. Bowser Jr. and the Koopalings could have most of their attacks reskinned to fit Eggman or Dr. Wily. Instead of Mecha Koopas, have Metars or Motobugs, and instead of Cannonballs, have Energy Balls. For a more crazy Echo, they could use the Mario character Fawful, combining his platform and jetpack. For a true crazy Echo, Porky combining his capsule and spider mech. No matter how hard you try, you can never inflict damage upon or KO Porky. You can only KO his capsule, but he will always be completely unharmed and oblivious to the fight. Duck Hunt would make a perfect base for Amaterasu. Instead of a cannon is a cherry bomb and ink bullets. Instead of the clay disc, Amaterasu throws her reflector like a boomerang. And instead of gunmen, Amaterasu summons a tree. And instead of flying, a blossom vines her up. The rest of the moves use reflectors, glaives, and rosaries. Ryu, if he got another, would get Akuma, dealing high damage but also taking greater damage. Evil Ryu could also work. Sakura could also work, albeit not as well. And Dan would be a funny choice. A crazy choice is Morrigan, who can use fireballs, has an uppercut, and a dash attack that is similar to, but less like Ryu's spinning man-bird kick than other moves. Cloud could have Zack or Sephiroth as great echoes. Or to be a little crazy, other protagonists like Squall or Lightning. Corrin could have Kana, and anything else is a crazy pick because of how problematic Corrin is as a Fire Emblem character. Some suggest Tiki, but Corrin doesn't play by the rules of Monarchites. My crazy suggestion is Naga, or really any of the dragon gods such as Duma, Mila, and Forseti. As dragon gods, they can legitimately break the rules of Manichaeans, like Corrin does, and they are important lore characters, so they are great choices. Double down with 8 different dragon gods in one character, ideally. Bayonetta, everyone suggests John, which I guess is the French version of Jean and is pronounced John. If you care about French phonics, and I don't, her father might also be able to be made to work. But I once joked Waluigi should be a Bayonetta echo without the bullets, because it'd be funny, and that's still what I most want. Inkling would most likely get an Octoling, but I mean you could go with Pearl and Marina, or the Kohak Salmonids. Ridley could have Robo Ridley, for a little crazy Hydreigon and Flygon would kind of work. If Simon got another echo, I mean, it'd be Trevor or Julius. Maybe Jonathan Morris to be a little out there? K. Rool could have other costumes, but the crazy and amusing choice would be Lord Frederick, who basically could do everything K. Rool can. Isabelle, like Villager, has many options, Digby being the obvious choice. A crazy pick is just picking some random character. So, Blathers for Smash. I don't see anybody asking for him. Incineroar could have almost any firefighting starter, Blaziken or Infernape probably fitting the best. I could also see Machamp, Chestnut, or even Ursaring working. Honestly, most fighting types could pull it off too. Maybe I'll do all the DLC someday, but I will throw a crazy Piranha Plant Echo idea out, instead of smooth brain choices like Bone Plants and other Piranha Plants. So, the best echo for Piranha Plant is Chain Chomp. The only major difference being the neutral special works more like Pac-Man's side special, and moves the actual character. The side special unleashes fire like a Fire Chomp. Otherwise, the block has a tiny cup for the Chomp to rest in, and has wheels and a few other clown car-like additions. Other variations of Piranha Plant would totally work, but that wouldn't excite anybody like a Chomp. This was a long video, years in the making, so if you watched this far and enjoyed it, please give me a like, subscribe if you want to, and tell me what echoes you most want for your mains.
Years! This video was stupid!
Okay, get out of my house now.
I'm gonna unsubscribe and swat you in this